Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Ockwell-Smith. Welcome to my latest SOS parenting video. Today I'd like to talk to you about the problems with punishment and why punishing children is a really ineffective and problematic form of discipline. So I think many of us were raised in a society by our parents, by our carers, where if we did something wrong or naughty, our parents or our carers or our teachers or whoever was looking after us would punish us. So that punishment could be that if we were at school, we missed a break time or we missed a fun activity. If we were at home, maybe we had something taken away from us, maybe we were sent to our room. If we remember being little, maybe we were sat on the naughty step or in time out or something. And even as we get older, sometimes if we misbehave, then we get things taken away from us. I think a classic example of this is crime and prison, taking away our liberty. So when we're talking about children, and by children, I'm talking any age. So I'm talking here toddlers, preschoolers, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds. The trouble with punishing, so taking away something, whether that's taking away the freedom or a tangible object, or shaming, so putting them on timeout or the naughty step, or shouting at them, or anything along that line of what we call very authoritarian discipline methods, very old school kind of Victorian, do as I say, not do as I do methods. They're all designed to demotivate the child from that difficult behavior. Basically what they're doing is saying, if you behave like this, then something not very nice will happen to you. So therefore the threat of this embarrassment or the shame or the punishment is meant to stop the child doing the difficult thing that we don't like as parents. The trouble is, this is such a ridiculously naive form of discipline because it presumes the child can do something better. It presumes that they're just being deliberately naughty. It just presumes that they are deliberately manipulative or doing things to deliberately annoy us. And actually, that's not the case for 99.9% of all child's difficult behaviours. For mostly, they will misbehave because they can't behave any better because they're really struggling. They're struggling to control their emotions. They're struggling to know how to behave differently. They don't have the tools that they need to behave in a better way. They're not feeling great. You know, all the reasons actually we as adults are not very pleasant sometimes. But by punishing them, we're effectively punishing them for having a problem, but we do nothing to help them with the solution. So what we know from punishment forms of discipline, if we look at the scientific research, is temporarily through fear, they may create compliance. But as soon as your child stops being scared of you, which happens really, really quickly, as soon as they stop being scared by the punishments, or as soon as they just think, oh, whatever, I'll just suck it up, I just have to cope with this punishment, you have zero discipline tools available because it stops working. But the other thing is, actually, it could make behavior worse in the long run. So the more you punish, the more you shame, the more you take things away, the more you shout, the more you sit them on timeout or the naughty step, what's happening is the initial problems that were causing that behavior are having to be locked in. The kid is not dealing with them. You're not teaching them better ways to deal with them. So the initial problem stays and it grows like a festering wound. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it stays inside until one day it's going to explode. And at that point, your shaming, your discipline, your punishment, your consequences, they just aren't going to work. And what we'll often see is children who have a very authoritarian upbringing, who have lots of this punishment and shaming and all sorts of authoritarian discipline when they're little. What you will tend to find when they're teenagers is they're far more likely to be violent or to be explosive and have difficult tempers and much worse behavior as a teenager. Or sometimes they will go the opposite way and they will keep all of these difficult feelings inside, but that pain and that hurt and that discomfort will be directed inwards. So here we're looking at things like self-harm or maybe eating disorders or drug or substance abuse or alcoholism. So what we really need to do as parents, as hard as it is to remind ourselves of what is normal child behaviour, Be the adult, take a deep breath and think, right, what does my kid need here? What are they trying to show me? What is it that, am I trying to get them to do something that is just not possible for their age? Do they really need help to cope in this situation? What do I need to teach them? And discipline comes from the Latin word discere and disciplina, which simply means to teach. It never meant to punish. It just means to teach. And we all learn best when we have a good relationship with our teacher, when that teaching is mindful and calm and respectful and empathetic. So I think if we're applying all of this to discipline, I hope you can understand why punishing and shaming is so ineffective. It doesn't resolve the problem, but also it puts a wedge between parent and carer and child. And actually it prevents discipline because it prevents learning, because for the best learning, we need a really great teacher. So I hope that helps. If that's piqued your interest and you'd like to learn more, there's much more about this and how to effectively discipline in my Gentle Discipline book. In the UK and Australia, it's called the Gentle Discipline book. In the USA and Canada, it's just called Gentle Discipline. I hope that helped. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.